That was really deflating and confronting, and it made me question what the future of the firm was.
Welcome back to another episode of my podcast, Relentless Life on Your Terms. I have Marianne Marchesi with us, who's owned a law firm since 2007. She's also a fellow Cub member. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Me too. So I'm very excited to have another Cub member as well. So you're obviously a lawyer. You started working in your law firm, and you started your business with $5,000 and a handful of clients.
Yep.
To where you are today. So tell us a bit about that journey. Tell us about what law you cover as well.
Yeah, of course. So I started the firm in 2017. I'd worked in traditional private practice for about 10 years up until that point, and hated the billable hour, printing absolutely everything. Like, we used to have files so big full of emails and documents and everything. And the billable hour model in particular was just so inefficient, and it led to not having trusted client relationships, because inevitably at the end of the month, a client would get a bill that they weren't expecting, and you'd spend days kind of negotiating it, writing off time. So anyway, by the end of 2016, I was over it. I was also very burnt out, and I was suffering from anxiety. And I decided I'm just going to go out and do this on my own. I was prepared to take a pay cut, and I worked out of the second bedroom of my apartment at the time. Started the firm with $5,000 of my own money, and within months, the practice was growing. Within 3 months, I hired my first staff member, and I didn't take a pay cut. That year, I ended up actually doubling my salary.
That's fantastic. That is so good.
Thank you.
But you had the guts to go out and give it a crack, and knowing that this is, in most cases, a realistic possibility.
And to be honest, because I think I was prepared to take a pay cut, I didn't have a huge vision of what I wanted this to be. I just kind of needed to start to enjoy my life and enjoy the law again, and I did. Most importantly, I started loving what I was doing again. I love the clients that I worked with and still work with. And it's grown over that 8.5 years to now a team of 12, over 500 clients on the books. And I'm a commercial and franchising lawyer, so I specialize in franchising, but I'm a commercial lawyer, and we have practices across employment law and property as well.
Which is amazing. So look, that first of all, kudos to you to saying, I'm going to give this a go. Makes me really happy to hear that you didn't take a pay cut and that you grew from strength to strength. So as you were acquiring clients, they probably heard that you were on your own and they started to come to you. Is that how you started building your client base?
Yeah. So I had 6 clients that were with me previously that came across with me. And then a lot of it was through word of mouth and referrals, but also I hustled really hard in the early years. Like, I was going out to networking events, putting myself out there for public speaking, networking groups. Like, I did it all. And this was pre-kids. So I had a lot of time on my hands, but I think I was going to networking events maybe 3 times a week in the early years.
And that changes, obviously. Now you mentioned kids as well.
Yeah.
You've got a couple kids?
Yeah, I've got 2, a boy and a girl.
Beautiful. I've got 4.
Oh, wow.
One, a boy, 22, 3 girls, 12, 9 and 8. How old are you?
Beautiful. I've got a 4-year-old and an almost 2-year-old.
Beautiful gaps. Challenging, but awesome.
Yeah.
So reading up, I saw you mentioned something about IVF policy, which really intriguing. Can you tell me a bit about that? Because that's a really cool thing.
Yeah. So I recently introduced a fertility and reproductive health leave policy at Legalite. And this came about because of my own journey with fertility struggles. So it was probably around 2019 until 2021 when my son was born that I struggled to fall pregnant. And it essentially took 3 years to conceive him, ultimately going through IVF, which is, for anybody who's been through it, very, very emotional, mentally draining and physically draining. But I was so, so grateful to have my own business whilst I went through this journey, because I had freedom and flexibility. I did go through IVF during COVID, so not that much freedom. But if I had worked in one of the traditional law firms that I'd previously worked at, absolutely, I just would not have been able to navigate that journey. And it's still, even to this day, it's still quite a taboo topic. And
shouldn't be, should it?
It shouldn't be.
Should be spoken about openly. And yeah, I've got a very close friend that's still trying, but had 19 goes at IVF.
Yeah.
And I see the process and what they go through. Her and her most amazing humans, love them to death. And the amount of physical exhaustion these poor humans going through, they eventually did have a baby that didn't make it, that is stillborn as well, just to make it even worse. And the financial burden on them, it's incredible.
It's such a burden. And I don't know why it's not spoken about and it's stigmatized. Like, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm proud of it.
Why should you be?
I'm so proud that I went through 3 years of what I went through, and with the support of my husband, and I'm so proud of him as well. But most of all, I'm so, so proud of my children and who they are, and I feel so unbelievably lucky and so blessed. So I'm very vocal, as you can tell, about talking about it, and recognizing that I wouldn't have had that experience if I didn't have my own freedom and flexibility. So I wanted to introduce that to Legalite, so that no one who ever works for me has to go through fertility struggles as well as reproductive health struggles and feel like they can't talk about it or they can't take the time they need to navigate it.
So what did you introduce? What policy?
So it's 12 days per annum covering fertility and reproductive health. So the team member can choose how they want to utilize that over a year. It might be towards fertility treatment, but it also might be towards menstrual pain like endometriosis or endometriosis surgery or gender affirming care or vasectomies. It's anything to do with reproductive health that you should not be expected to dig into your sick leave, because you're not sick. And it's not fair that most or almost everybody has to dig into their sick leave to navigate things that are completely outside of their control, that most, healthy, able-bodied, usually males, don't have to dig into.
I'd like to commend you on being a trailblazer in that, because it shouldn't be a taboo topic, and it's very, very hard for anyone that's trying to have a kid, but a female in particular, while trying to have a career, while trying to do 100 things. I always find it so much harder for a female than it is for a male. Like I go to work, and my ex-wife had 3 little kids, and I say to her, it's so much harder doing that no matter what you do at work. So hats off to you and acknowledging this. That's great. So while you were starting your business to now, give me some of the things that you learned along the way, some of the things you might have done different, and some of the lessons that you learned through starting the law firm.
I think the main thing for me is the confidence that I built over. It has taken 8.5 years to feel confident in my ideas and the execution and my instinct. Probably most of all, my instinct on making a decision, because I'm a very empathetic person by nature, and I think at times I have made decisions because maybe it was the kind thing to do, or whatever. But it might not have been the right business decision. And I knew that in my gut. But over time, I have learned to trust my gut and that business instinct. It really is so strong, but it's about actually listening to it and acting on it, which
it's your
I
second
didn't.
brain, and most people have a fear. Your gut instinct is usually the right one, but some people don't have the ability or the, I guess, strength or courage at the time to execute on what they think. And I note that you noted 2 great books. which is A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, and Dare to Lead by both books are absolutely amazing books I've found, and they really help you when it comes to leadership. There's so many good books you can read on those topics. And when I saw you, I read both of those books. They're actually, I listened and read them. They're very, very good books when it comes to leadership. What are some of the things that, some of the challenges you faced, other than the personal ones, obviously going through that as well?
I feel like every year has brought a different challenge since I started in 2017. COVID was very challenging, but also very positive in a lot of ways, because Legalite was already flexible in its work culture, and COVID heightened that for everybody, and it made what we were doing the norm. So that was really a challenge, but also really great. But more recently in 2023, Legalite went through some financial challenges. It was kind of at the peak when, everybody was struggling with the cost of doing business and economy. And I was also pregnant at the time with my second child.
Just to make it a little bit more complicated.
I know. And I was very sick in that pregnancy. So I was not able to be present in the business when it needed me the most. And I also did not have the bandwidth for it either. I was so over feeling sick, so grateful that I was pregnant again and enjoying all of that. But I did not physically have the bandwidth for business and being sick and expecting a baby and planning for the future. So that
sounds pretty easy.
So that was my most challenging year to date, was 2023. And in December of 2023, we couldn't afford to pay myself. I couldn't afford to pay myself a salary, which was the first ever in Legalite's history, because even from month one of running my business, it was a principle for me that I would pay myself, even if it was $400, which it was in the first month. But it was, for me, I did not start a business to not pay myself. Like I'm not running a charity here. So that was really deflating and confronting. And it made me question what the future of the firm was. I had my baby in October that same year. So December, I was actually on parental leave. And then come January, things were not looking up. And I remember walking into the study where my husband was working with my newborn, and I was like, I'm done with this. I can't do this anymore. I was so stressed. I was, obviously trying to look after my baby. I was establishing breastfeeding, was very sleep deprived, and everything with the business was still going on. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I'm just going to downsize to a sole practitioner, take on one client. And I was very ready to throw in the towel. I actually reached out to some friends of mine who also own they own law firms as well. And I said, have you ever felt this way? And they just said to me, they did. They said every day, but they also said to me, don't make any decisions whilst you're in the thick of postpartum.
100%.
Yes, yeah. And I was like, yeah, true.
Good advice, but you know what? It's how you feel.
Yeah.
And people say, we celebrated our 20 years in business this year.
Oh, congratulations.
And people go, the challenges go away. So the challenges get bigger, but you become more strong. You understand that even though the stones are getting bigger, you're better at dealing with your emotional intelligence is better. You've got good people around you. So that was very, very smart of you to reach out. And I kind of knew what their answer was, because I've got 2-3 business mentors that I've had forever.
Yeah.
And whenever I feel something, I call, and sometimes it's reaffirming what I already think or what I already know. But it's just having that confidence is, when you hear, how do you feel? I remember I had my ex-boss used to say to me, when you're in sales, he goes, you've just missed 2 sales. You've hit a gutter, your tire's popped and it's raining, and you think, tomorrow wake up, it's another day, you're a professional. And he goes, don't worry about it. And I always remember when things get tough, I remember his words as an in-home consultant driving home late, and that's the day you get the speeding fine. That's the day something happens.
Yep.
You get a parking fine for good measure, but the next day is okay. And I think they're the days that really teach you about your resilience, about your business.
Yeah.
And look, there's no way I was not going through IVF or breastfeeding or doing all that. That's a different complexion. So that's pretty incredible. So when they told you that advice, you just said, I've got to ride this wave. What was your mindset?
I just took stock. I was like, yep, true. And as you said, I think I did know this instinctively. And I just thought, okay, I'm going to pause. I'm on parental leave. I'm going to be on parental leave. And this is still a challenge for me in general in terms of being present wherever I am, because as business owners, you're probably like this too. You're always on, like you're always thinking.
It's the Eckhart Tolle book that you mentioned, isn't it?
Exactly.
The Power of Now.
The Power of
Now.
Now.
The New Earth.
Yeah, similar concepts. It's just about recognizing, don't ignore that your mind might be elsewhere, but bring it back, that mindfulness. And that forced me back into mindfulness, that, the advice.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
It is cool.
There's another book I read and it just tells you if you're feeling some way, acknowledge it, just stop. Because if you don't acknowledge it, you're pulling against the current. You got to go with the current.
Yeah.
So to dispel something, you need to really acknowledge it and say, you know what? This is a real shitty day today. I'm feeling really, really bad, but overall it's going to be okay. Tomorrow's another, whatever it is you say to yourself. And when I read that book and I thought, it's so true. When you've got a big challenge and you just say, you know what? I do feel shitty today. It's okay. It's normal.
For sure. So that pulled me back, and then I went back to work in February, and I was just determined. I was like, we're fixing this. I'm back. And I got the whole team invested in a refreshed strategy, a new vision. We went through for 12 months, the next 12 months. I was like, scrap 5 years. We're not doing 5 years. Everything's kind of, in turmoil at the moment. Let's focus on the next 12 months. What are the essential things that we need to be executing on for the next 12 months? Got everybody involved, from our support staff to principals, and that shifted things for us. Like, everyone was almost reinvested in our strategy and in our vision. And from there, everything just kept going up and up and up.
So you offered clarity. And at the end of 2024, you also purchased the practice. You did mergers and acquisitions, which is great. So,
which was not part of the strategic plan.
Sometimes things just happen. Now, there's a couple of things that I really want to talk about, because as I mentioned before we started, I have a soft spot for this. You actually donate part of your turnover as well. So can you tell us a bit about that and why you started and where you donate?
Yeah, absolutely. So since 2018, we introduced a program at Legalite called the Giving Project, where we donate 1% of our revenue to a charity of a team member's choice every month.
I love that part because people are really engaged
team
with
choice.
it. Yep. I love that. Yep.
Yeah. I love it too, because our team, everyone's human. We're going through different things, or we have been through different things in our life. To be able to feel like the work that you're doing day to day is also contributing.
And the thing is, what I love about that is the core concept is giving. What a beautiful thing. That's the first and foremost to me. But to get someone really engaged, some people are more, my son's deaf, so we used to donate to the Deaf Society, which is important. Cancer, everyone's touched. But for me, homelessness, which hasn't impacted me directly, it's what we support here. But how beautiful that you can actually input everyone's. And I really loved when I saw that. So every month someone picks a charity and they donate and you just rotate your staff members.
Yeah, we essentially just have a roster. Yep. And it's been really meaningful, because often as individuals we can feel quite helpless and not know how we can give back or help a cause that's important to us, or even just honor and recognize a particular cause. So through the business, I feel like that's also given me a platform to give back that I wouldn't be able to on an individual level. And the team feels the same. So that's been really fantastic. And since we launched it, we've donated close to $50,000 to various charities. Thank you. But I'm looking to build on that further. Like we do also offer pro bono support to the charities that we donate to every month. And I just think that there's so much opportunity for businesses of every size, but in particular small businesses, to give back that is so completely within reach.
You know what, as I said before, it's beautiful because it's good doing great things in business, and we're all in business to make money, but having an impact and having a purpose. And when your team rallies behind a purpose bigger than yourself, which is giving, that's what we at Reventon, one of our proudest things is we work so much with St. Vincent de Paul's. When we do something great, I see the team, how proud they are, happy they are. And that now 8 years doing the Vinnies, after a few years, people start to notice that you really care about this cause. This isn't a tax write-off. This isn't I need to do this. This is something that generally is important to me. For me, it's driven our purpose exponentially. It jumps me out of bed in the morning because I go, we've raised X. My first thought is, how do we go here now?
Yeah.
And I'm already working on the next thing every year because it has an impact. And I've done a few speeches recently in the power of corporate philanthropy. And now after many years, I'm actually seeing the impact that's having.
Yes.
And how we're known and how we're perceived in the marketplace. And it's truly special. It's one of the nicest things for our company that I've seen in the last 20 years. That would be one of the biggest feathers in our cap.
And I think it attracts values aligned clients,
like-minded people,
and community.
It attracts like my team's the same. We're all the same. I do the Vinnie's Soup Fans. I've went out with my team a few times and would you like to come? And I'm like, yep. And then we go together and we have fun while we're doing it, and we're raising awareness because everything starts with a conversation. Everything starts with awareness, anything. So you throw money at something, you're helping the symptom, but you're not understanding the root cause on how you can solve that issue. Now, some people might, here's a 5-10 grand donation because I need to get rid of some money, tax write-off or corporate responsibility. But where's that money going?
Yeah.
Are you looking at the symptom or the cause?
Yeah, what's the impact?
The root cause of it is, do I care enough to try to understand the root cause of this so that money can go a long way? So I thought that was really incredible.
Yeah. And I think also small businesses underestimate how much power they've got to contribute and to make an impact. I often speak to business owners who say, we don't make that much per annum, so it's not going to be much. But Legalite, over the last 5 years, we were a very, very small firm to begin with, and it's over time. It's the cumulative effect over 5 years. That I was surprised when I saw it. I was expecting it to be like $5,000.
But not only that, put the money aside. If it's $5,000, 50 or $1 million,
it doesn't
put
matter.
That aside. Can you have a conversation?
Yeah.
Can you raise awareness?
Yes, absolutely.
It all
it's
starts
more than
there.
that. That's
so when
right.
people say it's a financial contribution, I say to them, I'm blessed beyond belief. I'm very, very lucky. I'm healthy. I run a great business. I can give my money and my time. So I'm fortunate to be able to give both. But if you're not in that position, don't tell me you can't have a conversation. Don't tell me you can't raise awareness.
Yes.
Now you can recruit someone with money. You can recruit a business owner. You can discuss that. It starts with a conversation, and you can get as little. Now I work at Vinnie's when I do the Soup Fans a couple of times when I go there. I don't work there, but I've worked there a few days. Let me tell you, I've seen people there that are retired. I've seen people like a shout out to Toa who's been doing it for years. Volunteer work. Now, by the way, how much is he paying to volunteer? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
But his time, I'm not saying his time's not valuable. Yeah. So if you don't have the money, do you have the time to help?
Yeah.
Can you have a conversation? You can mobilize that in so many ways. It's not all about financial contribution. It's about time.
Yeah, that's
It's about awareness.
Yeah.
So when people say I don't have the money, no problem.
What else have you got?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of businesses have aligned products or services that they could contribute as well. So for example, I sit on the board of the Nappy Collective, which distributes nappies to families in need.
Is that what it's called, Nappy Collective?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
And if you think about, you might not be able to donate nappies, but there's, a trucking company that throws the nappies in the back of their truck on the same route that they're going on to deliver nappies to, women's shelters or disadvantaged communities. So there's other ways that you can use what you're already doing.
Your time,
use your resources, and not-for-profits and charities are they're calling out for that support, not
They
just
need it.
money.
They need it.
Yeah.
Because support, like Vinny's has 96% volunteers. And like when I was doing the sleep out, I thought, how can I do more? So we came up with a concept where we were going to buy a house through what I do, pay it off and donate it, which we did this year and sold it for 840,000.
Amazing.
Now we made a gain of 250,000. You know how much tax? We paid zero tax because it was for a charity. So I used my resources and my expertise to buy a house well, negotiate well, made all this money as well.
Yeah.
No capital gains.
Yeah.
So there's ways you can mow exactly as the nappy example that you gave. There's so many ways. And you know what it is? It's about creatively thinking or asking the question, how can I help? How can I be of service?
Yeah.
When you ask those questions, you start to understand. I guarantee you these non-for-profits, I guarantee you a major organisation like Vinny's, well, they'll find a way for you to help. Hey, why don't you come on the super vans? Why don't you come to Kensington and pack some food? I've done it. And these people that you meet, they're amazing.
Yeah.
They're retired people that want to do something. Some of them are young kids that volunteer their weekends and they do it for years. Like when I'm talking to them, how many years you've been doing it? And I said to them, this is incredible.
Yeah.
You're an amazing person. And I'm going out and they're, how long have you been at Vinny's for? And when I was in the soup vans, I feel like I'm interrogating everyone, but I just love it. I want to know.
Yeah.
And I was just 5 years, 10 years, 12 years. And I'm like,
it's so humbling.
I go, man, I feel grateful that I'm with you here, you know?
Yeah. It's so within reach. So I'm, on this topic, I'm starting a for-purpose enterprise called Good Co, which is exactly this conversation. It's how can you give back in a way that's aligned with you, your resources, your time. You don't need privilege. There's 97% of businesses in Australia, small businesses. If we all gave back in a tiny way, imagine the impact.
And as we said, doesn't have to be financial. Everyone thinks it's a stigmatism, it's financial. It can be many ways. I will say, if you're super privileged and lucky like me, throw them all in there. Throw your time, throw your resource and invest as well.
For sure.
Now, I do want to mention, because I read as well, you're about to start a podcast.
Yes. Bold
Congratulations.
ideas. Thank you. Hopefully it's as successful as yours.
I'm sure it will be. And I'd love to be on it if you'd have me.
I would love to have you on it.
I know it'll be very good and successful. I think podcasts are amazing because you meet great people, you share their knowledge, and I think it's just a great thing.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it. I started this, I think in 2019, and this is our 7th season at the moment.
Wow.
And as I mentioned off air, we're about to go to Cyprus in a month, the film, and London.
Oh, beautiful.
So I'm pretty fortunate, and it's been filmed in America. Now, as it's become a custom, I could sit here and talk all day with you, Marianne, about law and business.
Yep.
Are you ready for your quick fire questions?
Sure.
Okay. What's the most important skill in your industry today?
I think in my industry, and I cross over into a couple of industries, being legal, franchising, and business, the business world. I think vulnerability, and I think vulnerability is a skill.
Being authentic and honest?
Yes. And
I do too.
And don't shy away from talking about the real stuff and the hard stuff. It is a skill because it's so uncomfortable.
But you know what it is? No one does you better than you.
Yeah.
Authenticity is important because it shows that we're all exactly the same. We're human beings.
Yes.
And when people have a certain facade, show me who you are. Prefer to be hated for someone that I am than loved for someone I'm not.
And if you're hated for it, they're not your people.
Yeah, but that's fine too.
Absolutely.
That's 100% okay.
Absolutely.
I prefer that because people are honest and upfront.
Yes.
What's one thing that you're passionate about outside your work and your family, of course?
It would be giving back. So finding new ways to make an impact and leave a positive mark on the world.
I love that answer. What's your favorite travel destination?
Oh, Santorini, and I don't think I'm going to get back there until the kids are older.
I'm going to share a funny story with you very quickly. Yeah. I went to Santorini with 3 of my friends, all men, and I said to them, you could bring a woman here that hated you and you proposed and she's going to say yes.
She'll say yes.
I go, it's so good.
On the spot.
It is such a beautiful place.
It's amazing.
She would say no.
Yeah, yes.
What is the most exciting project that you're working on right now?
The Bold Ideas podcast.
I thought I was about to say.
Loving it. Yep.
What's your favorite way to spend your weekend?
with my kids, just whatever, going to a play cafe, going to a playground, just being present with my kids.
What's the best investment you've ever made? It could be a financial or a personal one.
Investing in myself, starting a business.
Having the courage to follow through.
Yeah.
What's your favorite quote?
I love a Richard Branson quote that says, if it's something like, if you really want to do something, but you're not sure you can, say yes and then figure it out later.
I met him in 2019.
Oh, did you?
I got
Wow.
invited to Necker Island. I spent 5 nights there, 22 people around the world, 3 Australians. It was really nice.
That's amazing.
And he was a beautiful man. I shared a breakfast just one-on-one with him. I shared 2 meals with him one-on-one.
Oh,
really
wow.
cool.
Goals.
How do you stay productive during long work days?
With a lot of help. Like I delegate, I outsource, I get
Having a good
support
team,
from
you
my
mean?
team. Yes, absolutely. I could not do anything without my team.
You know, you mentioned before you have an amazing supporting husband. People go, how do you do so much? I said, it's very simple. I have the best sister on the planet, an amazing PA and the best team. I said,
the people.
When they say, how do you do so much? I said, it's a reflection of the people around me. I couldn't otherwise.
Yeah.
And for a female, it's got to be that times 10 because you've got the kid element, you've got the birth element, you've got all the other stuff.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of your job?
Funnily enough, sales. I love sales.
How do you recharge when you're feeling drained? You've had an emotional day, flat out, you're feeling down. How do you bring yourself back up?
I practice mindfulness and I remind myself that tomorrow is a new day. As you were saying earlier, that's a big mantra for me.
You know what? If you're grateful and you see that we've got a lot going on, you mentioned 2 beautiful kids, a husband, a business, things are okay.
I'm so grateful.
Things are not that bad. So when you wake up with that, and Anthony Robbins talks like it's a good place.
Yes.
And the most important question, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much have you enjoyed being on our podcast?
Oh, 10 out of 10.
Remember, if you like Relentless, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more episodes. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Chris.